Hello, a very good morning to you wherever you may watching this program from. I am Haji Drame back again with the SPA 360 live on THD TV coming to you from Manjaikunda. Like I said yesterday, today our guest will be a very important citizen of this nation who has been leading Gambian sports for a decade now. No other than the president of the Gambia Football Federation, Lamin Kaba Bajo. Well, after a grueling AFCON campaign in the Ivory Coast, the Gambian Scorpions return home to a mixed reaction from fans. There has been pain and agony following their failure to move on to the next stage of the competition, and perhaps already having a premonition of what lies ahead. Head coach Tom Saintfiet rightly tender his resignation as expected by many football fans in the Gambia. But that is just the beginning, because there have been so many allegations and accusations as to how the GFF, prepare for this competition. But there's no better person to hear from than the president, who has led this country to a back-to-back Africa Cup of Nations competition. Mr. Bajo, thank you so very much once again. It's always been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm glad again you are the second guest to this new program. You remember when we launched this show, you were the first studio guest, and today you're the second guest after we host Willie Abraham yesterday. But yesterday the Gambian won a very good citizen as well in Malik Jones. And welcome to 360 SPA 360.
Thank you, Haji, and thank you to TAD. And really, first of all, let me also join the media fraternity, the sports fraternity, particularly the football fraternity, to mourn fallen colleague and friend, and to also extend our condolences to his family, friends, colleagues, and loved ones, Alhaji Malik Jones. I also know him for many decades now. He has ever been very prominent in the media in this country for many years, and we developed some personal relationship time when I was in government, and that extended to his last days on earth. May Allah grant him Jannah Firdaus. And I think he's a legend. He was an icon. And I think the young ones, yourself and others, have a lot to learn from him. And then we are looking forward to many more of his lives in this country. And once again, thank you for inviting me to this program. I'll have to find President Willie Abrahams for coming before me. So we'll have to pay for that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, you've been with the team in the entire journey to the Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. And prior to our qualification, there were a lot of challenges faced by the federation, the football team, the coach, and all stakeholders involved to this historical event that we just come from. But our first appearance was significant because we were seen as underdog, and we proved all skeptics wrong. And therefore the expectation become huge, even though we know the boys got the qualification from a tight corner. And it didn't go the way we want. We all know, the entire Gambia know, there are a lot of things that surrounded the departure, ahead of the departure to the Africa Cup of Nations game. But generally, as the man who led Gambian football to second Africa Cup of Nations, what is your reaction and what is your take about Gambia's early exit from the Africa Cup of Nations?
It was not expected. It was really, we didn't expect to stop at the group stage, first of all. We were expecting to go beyond what we reached as a group, to go beyond the quarterfinals, as we did in our first appearance. We did everything within our means to prepare even better than the last time. Despite some of the hitches that happened before, and even I would say even during, because there's no preparation or arrangements that will come out 100%. But that's football. We did our best at the level of the management administration in collaboration with the government through the National Coordinating Committee before our qualification at the level of the federation. Again, because we don't work in isolation of the government. And then we did everything we can. As I said, the environment really, we did our best to improve it from the last time. and then the results then didn't reflect our expectations and also our efforts. But that's football. Just barely a few hours ago, before we went to bed last night, you see one of the biggest shock of the tournament.
Yeah.
A day before, it wasn't a shock. So that's football. It may not be a justification, but it can also be a lesson for all of us.
What have we learned along the process prior to our departure to Ivory Coast, where the Gambia was in the headline, sometime for a good reason, sometime for the opposite. That starts with the departure of the players in the first attempt, and also the bonuses come to end. Many Gambians are confused because the speculation we are going all around. Where is this problem coming from? Was the GFF prepared well to take, the mantle of leadership going into the Africa Cup of Nations? What is your reaction to all those issues that surrounding the departure of the national team?
It was one of disappointment and really embarrassment, because really at that moment in time, such incidents were the least we expected. But everything has history, and there were some issues that led to all those things. But we thought we would have managed and controlled them before they fell out of hand. So it was not palatable, it was not easy. It was a tough moment for us, but we took up the challenge. At the end of the day, we went back to the drawing board, and everything went back to normalcy. And then we flew to the tournament, and then physically or evidently, we didn't notice any serious impact of what happened prior to our departure into the dressing room, by way of the mentality of the boys, their morality, whatever. Because we've been with them, and it's our boys really. Whatever happens at the end of the day, as soon as they boarded that aircraft to Abidjan finally and landed, everything was behind them. So the training sessions, the interaction we had with them, we couldn't see any evidence of the impact. If anything, they were for the challenge, because they knew that despite the fact they were fighting for their rights, for their dues, which we respect, but they also knew that the population also had some disappointment in them. And that also realized them. They want to appease to really prove to the to at least to make them happy, and then to forget about the disappointment they had in Banjul. So that really I could realize that, and this is why they worked very hard to make sure they had positive results, but it didn't work that way.
As the leader of the Gambia Football Federation, will it be fair to put the blame on the GFF relating to the bonuses that were delayed to be paid to the players that led to the refusal of coming and face the Gambian fans who were totally disappointed with the behaviors and the response of the players at that time? Because many knows that the national team belongs to the Gambia the government, and that sometimes GFF step in to pay allowances and bonuses. Do you not think that is what complicated the situation for the GFF?
Yeah, well, this is the unfortunate aspect of it. Sometimes positive, sometimes negative. We are responsible for football. That's what everybody understands. The government itself and many other people and ourselves came out many times to state categorically that the Independence Stadium doesn't belong to GFF, neither do we run it, now we own it. But up to today, somebody tell you, go and fix our stadium. Even those who own it will tell you, no, they don't own it, we own it. That's it. But that's the game, that's football, that's our responsibility, and we are ready for the challenge. Of course, it's not fair, either maybe because of one's misunderstanding or lack of knowledge of the whole setup, or maybe sometimes it could be deliberate attempt to smear. But we are partners in this with the government. And all over the world, national teams carry the national flag, hence the name national teams, and then also the principle that the national teams are owned by the state, and when it comes to funding, it should be entirely funded by the government. And then the issue of the bonus has been, the responsibility is still, like any other financial responsibility, is on the table of the government. What GFF does, we manage the players, we handle the technical side of it, the administration when it comes to funding is governance, and then we don't miss in also sharing those financial requirements because they don't deal with the players directly. That's our responsibility. And government doesn't want to do that. And I think they are rightful. We are trusted with that responsibility. And then we always convey anything that relates to that financial aspect. So it's not you cannot say it's GFF entirely responsible. We did what we are supposed to do. It's a three-way, it's the players, the government, and the GFF. The government should provide the funds. So we've been narrating the events that led to the whole thing. Many times, you don't mind. Let me just lead you.
Yeah.
The main issue was the qualification
bonuses,
qualification to the AFCON.
Yes.
Sometime last year, we had a discussion because normally GFF engages or the players either way around. The players engage the federation in terms of what their expectations are in terms of allowances and bonuses. Yeah. And then we started negotiation with them, and then also convey a conclusion because negotiation must have how do you call it, an end that you at both should accept. At the end of the day, then we formally inform the government about that. And then even at the level of government, they also request for further negotiation. We also try to open the door, win a door for them also to have some direct contact with the artists. So because at least sometimes maybe the senior government official may carry more weight than me, or maybe because the players, the representative also may have a little bit of more, at least more consideration for the authority at the government level. So we open, make sure that we all cooperate. And then when we started this negotiation after the last AFCON, before the last qualifier, qualification for this one started, and we received a proposal from the players, from the captain, started negotiation with them so that we can reach to a reasonable conclusion. And at one point, I even had to involve the honorable minister, because at least not because of anybody, at least because of his position, who really when you also engage them, they will have some consideration for him. I also appreciate because we are not good to pay and negotiating on your behalf. Sometimes the other party may even think that I'm trying to do that. But if you start also intervening and they know your realistic position, that was the idea. And that happened, a few interactions between the captain and the minister happened. And then at one point it got stalled, maybe because of the levels. And then near the time the captain came back and said, look, what about this? I said, well, what did you end up with the minister? He said, no, I think we had a few interactions, but since then we didn't communicate. And you people have to take responsibility. It's normal. We engaged them, had meetings with them physically in one of our matches. And then until we couldn't convince them to move from that particular position. When we came, we put up in black and white and sent it to the ministry. This includes the camping allowances for all the matches, the qualifier, and also the qualification bonus, win and raw bonus for that qualifier, and also the qualification bonus in case we qualify to this African. This is again sent to the ministry through the Sports Council. Actually, we didn't receive a formal response, and then after a few follow-ups, of course, follow-ups were made verbally here and there. But when we started the journey for the qualifier, actually we prepared the budget, submitted to the ministry. We are called for consultation. They review it, and then whatever they think they can amend here or ask questions, we are invited. We do that. But we are preparing that budget. We did it based on the agreement that we had with the players, I would say on behalf of the government at the time. And then government did not raise any objection to it, and then funds were provided accordingly based on that budget. So we assume really that's what they accepted it. And then, we are into the qualifiers. Fortunately, we qualified in Marrakesh.
Under that terrible condition.
Okay, so when that happened, and then the captain, on the eve of the match, 2 days before the match, the earthquake happened, His Excellency the President called to really look to inquire about the well-being of the players and give them courage and pray for them for the match itself. For the hours time. And equally, when we qualified, I received a call. He said he wanted to thank us and to congratulate the boys. I said, fine. Then we arranged a telephone conversation between the president, myself, the coach, the president, and second vice, on speakerphone. And then after the president, congratulated the team and the players and everybody, and also assured them of the support of the government, that the whole country was behind them. It was very encouraging, very, very motivating. And then the captain, prior to that, had told me, he will really, this time, we don't want to bother the government, with the president, with financial reward for qualifying. We'll be asking for a diplomatic passport, at least with all the things that it goes with. Because last time money brought.
Yes, the issue. Yeah.
I said, okay, this was what he related to the president.
So instead, they asked for a diplomatic passport.
And then he related to the president that way, and the president on the spot said, consider it done. So when we came, we started the process. The mere fact that it was made that they will not expect money or they're not asking for money. So when we are preparing the budget for the AFCON, naturally we don't put it there.
Yeah, because it was mentioned already, they are not prepared.
If you put it there, maybe somebody look and maybe think that you want to cheat.
Yes.
So when you put, actually it was not the budget based on this principle. That was the president also, it's by extension on the minister, the whole government and GFF. And then we went to the preparation for the budget. A few weeks before the AFCON, I got a call from the captain, and he was inquired by the qualification board. I told him what happened. He said, yeah, but boys are asking. But this is what he said. No, I didn't mean that we. Anyway, there's another thing. I really want to be.
Because already there was an agreement to
the young man, for certain things, for obvious reasons. But they insisted on it at the end of the day. Maybe the understanding, perception, said were different. And then when they were insisting, we had already launched the NCC, the budget, the main budget of the NCC was presented and discussed, amended here and there, until we accept, we started moving. And when this matter came, that was prior to their departure to the training camp in Saudi Arabia, then I went to the minister, I told him, look, this qualification bonus is still simmering. It's coming. Then I went to his office on his commission, and I informed him about it. So, but it's not in the budget. I said, but in fact, they said they don't know. I said, but I've been discussing with, talking to the captain over the but he's insisting that they really want the money. Otherwise, it will be a condition for them. So he said, okay, but that's going to be difficult. We already have the budget. I said, okay. So what about the training? I said, no. Up to this point, it's not a condition that they will not go for the training. We said for the condition for them to go. I said, okay, then we may have that. I think we can see what we're going to do. Okay, in principle, if they said we pay, we have to pay. So we have to negotiate with them at least about the fee.
Even though it was not part of the negotiation, but you guys were prepared to make sure that they represent this country.
I told him, we look at the budget. Maybe as we go along the tournament, then we can see where we can make savings and then see how we can agree with them. So that was the principle that I agreed with the minister, and this was communicated to them. Then they went to the training camp. During the training camp, they raised it again with some other issues. Threatening that when they come, they will not go for the training session, and they will not also fly to Cote d'Ivoire. And the message came, same day, so we consulted here and there. And when they came, it was an issue the day we went to see the vice president. After the ceremonies and the photo shot with the vice president, the matter came up. We had a brief meeting with the minister, and then said, okay, we're going to look. The minister said he was going to look at the account of the finance committee responsible for NCC's funds. That could be done, the amount that could be done. So that negotiation, that was, we went home. We went back to the hotel, so we went home, preparing to go for the training session and then fly out the next morning. When we went to the hotel after lunch, the training was prepared, the coach announced, even the technical team had to leave for the stadium to prepare the ground, and the players were supposed to follow. Then later, I was called again by the captain. Fortunately, General Secretary was there. He said, we had a meeting now, but we are saying now the training, the qualification bonus is not paid. We are not going for the training, and we are not going to fly to Cote d'Ivoire. They were all like that. He said, yes. But I think that's a serious one. How you talk about it? He said, yes, that's the decision we've taken. And then said, okay, boys, anybody can dispatch, go wherever you want to go, no training.
But in this case, I think it's fair to also note that the federation and the ministry, the government has done a lot to make that happen. Because going by the conversation between the captain who was involved there for the diplomatic passport, which was issued in Ivory Coast, and I think it will be also quite to notice that, the players, also go against what they have agreed upon.
Yeah, that's the principle. But if you have an agreement with somebody, tell them, for me, I didn't mean it, I meant this. But for us, we have to succumb. That's the reality. Otherwise, we're not going to AFCON with disaster. So it's worth the government and us to do anything possible. And that last hour, we have no choice. That's what happened eventually.
Yeah.
So the matter came up, and then the whole evening was negotiation here and there, and until the matter got to the president, and the president gave instruction that they let the money be let the whole amount be paid. But that was an offer from the government to the minister about the amount, but they said that they would not accept that.
The fans were there. I was at the stadium that day. They were very disappointed because most of these young men paid their $300 to watch a Scorpion training. Yes, we believe and we supported they should be paid if that was the reason, to be paid, because this is where they have their, they're living for, But again, there was a negotiation that happened, and the diplomatic passport was the main, objective that they need, and it was provided for them. So, what do you say to the Gambian fans before we go further? Because Gambian fans were very angry. And generally, the accusation and the criticism was all over. The ministry, the GFF, and the organizers of the event, not knowing that there was a gentleman negotiation that happened, which led to the diplomatic passports.
Anyway, once again to apologize to the fans. And then we did that earlier. The captain himself came out and apologized to the fans. We really apologize for the situation. But it's behind us, and then we have bigger matters to look at now, how we get back and prepare ourselves for the upcoming competitions. Immediately
we are eliminated from the championship. Tom Senfeld, one of Gambia's most successful coach in history, resigned, tendered his resignation, and later praised the leadership of the GFF under your tutelage as one of the most reliable and dedicated, committed federation he worked with. Did that news came to you as a surprise, or this was something that Tom planned before the elimination of the country?
Yeah, in all honesty, he hinted me, honestly. He hinted me, and I also shared with the inner circle. Before he told me, really, he had a vision for the Gambia, and he really thought he has done his bit. And then the environment, the way it is now, he loved the Gambia. He would like to continue with Gambia, but maybe the majority of the Gambian people didn't appreciate or they are fed up with him. So it's better also not to spoil his legacy under such circumstances, environment, and also allow the Gambian people to have another choice. So and then it's going to be actually it was even when we not even anticipate this early exit. Most likely it's going to be his last engagement with us. So it's going to leave wherever we stop in the tournament. So even if we had proceeded, he will see, because he doesn't want to abandon the ship on high seas. That was the principle. This is something that really, even before going to the AFCON, you can say, I'm sorry, he didn't just wake up like that. He hated that, so he said, okay, maybe we continue journey together. He started to do his best, and by the end of the day, to thank the Gambia people and Gambia, those who appreciate what it's like, we can't sometimes everybody, but it's saying that generally, it's also human. Now the media, the social media, conventional media, everybody you judge whether you are popular or not, whether you are good, appreciated or not from that, whether it's the reality, because maybe you have a silent majority that you didn't hear, but those that you hear is what you really put your judgment on. So really, he hinted me, he told me, and I also shared that in the background, and then every day he announced it. And
many football fans believe that his tactics were not good for the Gambia, despite moving to international competition, winning matches. But when he came to the Gambia prior to their departure, he stepped out at the Independence Stadium, cheering the fans from the left to the right side. That was a civilized way of saying goodbye to the Gambians, then.
Yeah, I was not there, but I think when I saw the clips, I put one and one together. Maybe that would have been the last opportunity for him in that capacity to meet the government, this cross-section government community. In terms of his tactics, he will play whatever. At the end of the day, for me, as a football fan and as a manager, doesn't matter. What matters is the results. The means doesn't matter in sports. It's the result. Those who do the most beautiful football, at the end of the day, if you didn't come back results, you are linked. And you still, we've tested both But what's important is what one the philosophy. Everybody has a philosophy in life, and what can give you the right results or the desired results is what matters. In this case, when Tom came in, we all know you are one of the most senior football journalists here, where we were in football in terms of our records. The records and numbers don't lie. Even the mere fact of us in 2019, we are very close to qualifying. You remember that?
Yeah.
We held Algeria at the time. Here
in Algeria.
To a draw with Algeria. In a very freezing environment, we held them to a draw. We had the Gabons, the Angolas, the Congos. It's not been easy. If you look at historically, you turn back, how when did Gambia had a draw against such teams? And then we also broke records, and many records for that matter. I was able to amass and pull together a very big pool of players, and we've seen what happened. So, by and large, myself and the Gambia Football Federation and a good number of Gambian population, as a young man would say, is the GOAT. Gambian football, the GOAT in terms of coaches.
Yes.
Let anybody show me anyone who has done better than him. The next person to come will only do better than him if it was he or she, because now it's take us to the World Cup. Yes. Anybody come and take us to the World Cup, you are better than Thompson. But as far as we are now, even if you take us to the World Cup another 10 times, he's forced to take us there. And a back-to-back for that matter. If you look at the history, how many countries were able to do that? So he's the good, he's the best, and he's put us on the map. And I feel so pride. I'm always in the limelight when I appear in my colleagues at CAF and FIFA corridors. The presidents of CAF and FIFA themselves will single out Gambia. I remember President Musepe has this word. Even today, if you meet me, you say, "Oh, Lamin is here, the house is full." Gambia is a country that no country want to play with. It's a Gambia, I feel pride, not being as Kaba, but as Gambia. And it's witnessed by some of my colleagues in the corridors. So that's it. So this departure really is a great loss to us. We are hoping, we are very optimistic that we will have someone better than him. That's what we are looking for.
The fans again who were demanding a very, very, offensive coach are now asking for a local-based coach to be given chances. As the head of the federation, are your doors open for any local coach engagement with the national teams?
Yeah, if anybody wants, that is me. When I came in, when he had the first European Raul Saboy briefly, when he went, I went for a local coach. And then circumstances differ. Not me per se as an individual. Since I'm head of institution, I will use that word.
Yes.
But I don't sit at that interview. I have no place in that panel who will scrutinize applications and whatever, and the CVs and profiles, have direct interaction with the applicants. I don't go there. It's not my area. It's not my area of competence. I have a decentralized system of operation. I have a committee that I feel are competent enough to do the needful and make their recommendation to the executive through me and also to the government. So I'll leave that with them. But as a Gambian, I really would have loved, and I would still love to have a Gambian who has the qualities and qualifications and the capabilities to run that office. That's my wish.
To 2 Africa Cup of Nations, I'm sure the World Cup would have been something that you wish before you say bye to the leadership of Gambian football.
Yes, it's possible.
And we are closer to our first qualification or get into another match for the World Cup qualification. How soon do you think the GFF is preparing to get a coach?
Very soon. The technical committee started the work in the background. I'm sure very soon. We've already received. Now the number will be very close to 50 to 60 applications. So people who send in CVs there, so others, profiles there.
Do we have Gambians in them?
Yes, we do. I saw one. I saw one in the meantime. I saw one. So that's it. And then they will formally, I'm told they will formally advertise it.
Okay.
So it's still not being advertised. But in the coming days, they'll do that within a time frame and allow applicants to send in application plus all what they already gathered through other means, through the Gambia Football Federation's email address.
Yes.
Some will send reply to me directly, and I send to them. So they'll conduct the process and advise accordingly. And in this case, as I said, they'll advise, make recommendations. This and technically, the shortlisting or recommendation will be look at the level of the executive and also shared with the government, because which is going to be the eventual employer of the coach.
Yeah.
And then if you are going to pay somebody, you'll have at least must have your mouth to where your money is.
Exactly.
So therefore, despite the fact that the technical development committee will respond to the technical aspect of it, but we want to carry along the government in the process, to be witness to the process. At the end of the day, they can also be satisfied. It may not be technically. If they have somebody technically competent to join the team to do a good job, better job, we'll be more than willing to do that. But I know they trust us. In the past, that's how it happened. With the process, send in recommendations, and then give them 1, 2, 3 options, 1, 2, this, 1, number 2, number 3. With everything, including the most important, well, not most important, I would say, but the very important,
the money,
the expectation of the applicant. So we'll go along with the government, and they give us the green light. They say, okay, take Haji, and if you know that wouldn't fall within the technical requirements of the technical committee, we say, yeah. Or if not, we advise, this one thing is he or she is capable to do it. But at the end of the day, so we will not even, we have enjoyed that free hand, and then at the end of the day, we negotiate together with them the contract, and then when it's agreed, and then they sign the employ the coach, sign a contract with him, we can only be a witness at something like us.
Will you assign a team to assess the Africa Cup of Nations recently to look at where we have a shortfall and where we believe we have lacked in going further to any major events in the continent? I ask this because many thought your relationship with the former players is not cordial. That is why aspects like this is not available at the Gambia Football Federation. And so, what is your relationship with our former Gambian players or former sportmen, footballers?
I don't understand. Sandong is one of the areas of Gambian football. It's technical director. Alai Sar is a assistant coach, senior national team. Lai Bonya was my former player. The T-boy, who was the on the 23 coach, was a national team player and a captain for that matter. More Giants, the manager for competition. So national team player. So I didn't understand. I know the question, but as far as we are Gambia Football Federation, we don't have any problem with anybody. If you have the capability, you have the means that you can deliver, I'm very happy. I always use T-Boy Abdujame as an example. But when the young man hung his boots, he turned focus on coaching, and he ensured that he carried us along. Yeah. We appointed him as an employee of the GFF. And we are very happy to partner with him in the course that he's doing. He's doing his UEFA Pro. A-Pro, he's doing it. A-Pro, that's qualified. As far as I know so far. As far as I know, maybe the Gambia is, we are all over the world. You'll be surprised, you can go to Bhutan down there and find a Gambian there with this UEFA Pro that we would know. I don't want to really close the ring. Yes. But as far as I know, he's almost at the last stage. We've seen him here doing his practicals here. Call me this instructors here. GFF will facilitate it, and he will do his practice. That's what we need. And we have many others. We have many other, because you don't have the capacity to bring everybody on also. But we have many other former national team players who are working with us one way or the other. So that's not a problem. It could be individuals. But let me tell you one thing, because I think this also, I said this during the last campaign. Yes. I had interaction with a group of them also. Some 2-3 years ago, I would say now, it's almost very close to 3 years that I was here. We even had a marathon, Zoom meeting with them, so those most of them live outside. And then we came to agreement that there are 3 categories of them. There are those who are interested to become goodwill ambassadors of GFF and scouts. Those who are in the technical field, those who are doing coaching courses or who already have coaching license certificate, and those who want to go into football, agents and intermediaries. Yeah. These are the 3 categories. At the end of the meeting, we agreed that they assigned 2 people to coordinate with us, and this one I didn't assign anybody. I was personally dealing with them. Ibu Sela was assigned, was on the ground, to consult them and submit a list to us in this different category. He did that by names through WhatsApp. He came to my office. I asked him, now what do you do? If you say Haji is in the technical field, he want to be a coach in the court now. Give me the resume of Haji. What qualification, what program is he doing at what level? Then we need to build a database. So tomorrow when we deal, maybe not at the senior national team level, but we have the junior category. You see, if the under 20 has an engagement, you already have a coach, we'll appoint a technical service body. Fitness coach, goalkeeper coach, assistant coach, in some cases 2 assistant coaches. Then there you can have that free hand to bring. You even have team managers. So this is the way we can also use some of them. And also those who wanted to be ambassadors, let me have their email addresses and their addresses and maybe numbers, so that when the letters are written, it could be sent to them for that. Those who wanted to be agents and other things, who want to be in football marketing and other business, let me have their details, their resume, so they have a database. So in case we need, but it's almost more than 2 years that didn't happen. You didn't receive any? He never came back to me on that. I also told him that any former national team player, even somebody who has never even kicked a ball in the field, but he had the opportunity of sitting on the bench for the national team and all categories of national team. Let me have a passport size picture of them, even digitally. We're going to prepare an access card for all of them, to be able to, because one of the things that some of them will go to matches and they don't pay, and they will go to the gate, and in fact sometimes they do not now. Then everybody will have that card from our league to international matches, when you just saw that you accorded what you deserve. So that was all a proposal from the GFF to the former. And directed them. Up to date, that has never stopped. So what can I do? And even some of them even approach, if someone has some personal contact with them, that they have some businesses they want to do here, some projects, I engage them, but they don't see some of them. But I said, this doesn't cut across the board. It's only a handful of them. I can count it on my fingers. But I appreciate, I will least passing to relegate the efforts that or the contribution to the country in terms of their participation in football. I cherish them. With all humility, I was a sports minister in this country. I was happy to hear Mr. Den's late night program last night. I was just lucky to run onto the end of it. With all what he said before his last statement, with all what he said, Alhamdulillah, but what he finally said vindicated me. Suñ amul jom ni ko dañoo design fine. Defuñu fi dara, defu muni dara. Why he said Kaba has done, he has organized one of the best tournaments here, 97 as minister. He was the chairman of the local government. So that was best. He know everybody can do it. He was different. If I can do it at that time, 97, and today I'm here, and you're telling me Suma Ame Jom na resign. I'm just an example. Yes, so I'm not a novice in the area. I remember in 1997, we were around, we were going to school at the time. That one time, one of the first times we had invited a greater number of professionals. It is the CFOs, the Kebas, they are big. Yes. We lost to Mali. Babani Siso was. He used to pump that money. I'm saying it because for me, I have no problem with anybody. The GFF has no problem with anybody. If anybody has anything to offer, come out. We've seen people, the soldiers around. Pamon is here. The food is every day talking. You don't have to go and be employed, because not everyone can have employment there. It's not possible. But they offer something. They offer something, and I will open that gate. But I'm saying, if somebody is saying that your relations with the former players, that's wrong, it's not correct. And when you say former players, where do you draw the line? Because as I speak now, I'm part of a forum of former players. The Lions, the Parlums, as it's called, seniors, the Sandongs, Isar, they were all there, Lions and others. They were Tiamas and all of them veterans. Everyone on that pitch. If I was a founding member of that pitch, I would say, because it was through my advice it happened. And I see their advice, the Star Jallos, everybody's there. Those people not formal, like the how do you call Lamin, name all of them. It's a fire and others. That was the former players. Like somebody like Jato, we are in touch. Once in a while we talk. And that was very closely talking to Idrissa Sonko until recently. You understand? So I don't have any problem. The T-boy, Tijan, all of them. There is another one they call Tijan City. You know, Tijan Kaba Bajo City. You know, we have some discussion even beyond football, other than football. So for me, we don't have any problem. The problem there is that people want to make if anybody has anything to offer to government football, you are more than welcome. But I'm very proud that I have the largest, this current administration has the largest number of former national players working and receiving salary at the Gambia Football Federation.
I have two questions before I let you go.
I stand to be correct.
Yeah, I have two questions before I let you go. The one is about, plans of picking from where we stop in Cote d'Ivoire, especially the technical lapses, other issues that, technical people can sit and look and give advice to the federation as to how we move from this level to another level.
Yeah, there are two layers. Number one is the overall organization of the AFCON.
Yes.
That's been handled by the National Coordinating Committee. We include the Gambia Football Federation, the government of Gambia at different levels, and also some private individuals. It's chaired by the Honorable Minister and the Vice Chair.
Yeah.
At the level of the NCC, we will regroup, have a report, take stock of what happened, and how we think we could do better. That's at level. At the technical level, on the pitch, certainly the coach is very well, so in the next couple of days he'll submit his technical report, and that's reviewed by the Technical and Development Committee. And very likely they will invite him to come over. But the Technical Development Committee also, they are all, as I said, these are all former coaches and coaches and all that, it's been chaired by the Technical Director of the game. And then they also send their feelers, they are observing, they will ask questions, they will interrogate the coach if necessary, and I'm sure they also are gathering their own information, and they will sit down, evaluate the report, and addition to contrast with what they themselves observe, and then make recommendations for the future.
Finally, after the elimination of the team return, we've seen a group of people that have come out to say GFF must go. That is your executive under your leadership should resign. And there are a lot of allegations. Corruption, misuse of FIFA money, football pitches, wrong information given to FIFA. And what is your stand about this group that say GFF must go?
I respect their opinion. Football is everybody's business, and I respect anybody who has interest in Gambian football. And I also welcome anybody who feels dissatisfied, has a question, a complaint, whatever against me on my leaders. I welcome them. And then whatever we receive from them, either verbally or through the media or written, we look at them. If there's anything that we can improve on, we'll improve on. GFF must go. GFF cannot go. Say Kaba go. Tubufai go. Baka Jame go. But not Lamin go. But not GFF. GFF will say, if GFF goes, then there's no football in this country. And if GFF goes, then FIFA will suspend Gambia. I think they should change the slogan.
Instead of GFF go, Kaba and the executive should go.
GFF goes, then there's no football. I don't think that's their desire or their means. Maybe it's a perception. But anyway, I respect them, and then anyway, we are following, but I think we have better and more pressing issues to look into.
Are you concerned about the allegations that are coming from the group? Because there are a lot of allegations coming from the group.
There's nothing new. We respect. We dealt with this. There's not a single thing that come. This came up before the elections, after elections, 2, 3 years, 4 years ago. That's normal. And I tell you, everything that's published in Gambia about Gambia football, FIFA and CAF vote, and look at it. We are the smallest.
So as far as you're concerned, your leadership, your hands are very clean.
That's manifesto. We just held an AGM, annual General Assembly. We just had the FIFA auditors left, and we also had the local external auditors submit their report. The financial, any institution, any corporate body, where you can clear, or the management or leadership can clear or smear themselves is through the audit reports. Only you're telling me that we corrupt the auditors also. And these are external auditors. FIFA send auditors from outside twice a year. They look at FIFA funds specifically, not only the books, but they will go physically inspect the projects. We have the local external auditor who is appointed by the General Assembly and they will submit the audit report, or the financial report, is submitted to the members, I emphasize members of Gambia Football Federation, 14 days before the General Assembly. They look at it and they are not novices. Most of them are not novices like me in terms of accounting and auditing. We are aware some caucuses are formed to look at that to their best of ability to prove us, to find or trace or observe any matter that we found of wanting. Well, we thank God. This is presented, they will present, the books have been with them for 2 weeks, they look at it. We ask the question, we answer question, we debate until it's approved. So I think, with all due respect to anybody who's a Gambian, non-Gambian, who's a football fan, nobody's interested. But the right body to say move out is that honorable body, people who, that group who put their money where their mouth is. That's the most important thing. I respect everybody. But the issue of GFF Must Go, maybe Must Go, I think maybe they didn't let them require it. GFF Must Go. Yes, GFF shouldn't go. Just GFF goes there. No, let Kaba go and somebody else go. But in a nutshell, as I say, we respect their opinion. I've been myself. Maybe if I live here, a gentleman or an old one will confront me and ask, how we would have an opinion. It's happening every day now. Well, Presi, and to the when you need info. Fine, I'll take my time to explain, and then you can see, oh.
Because when the speeches came about, that's many people were asking for a response from the GFF relating to the information given to FIFA, saying that 14 new...
But it's not personal. I think those things they are misunderstood. These are interventions. You cannot build 14 pitches from $4 million.
Yeah, that was Paul for that money.
You cannot build a 14-minute stadium from $4 million. $4 million cannot even give you a good mini stadium. These are interventions. Let me give an example. Yeah. In the FIFA 4, you have what we call SOS, Statement of Approval. Let me give an example. Manja here.
Yes.
We forget too early. Before the ongoing project, how many interventions did you have in that week? We created an office for the Regional Football Association. That is equipped with computers, furniture, and a solar power system. That's a project. That's an intervention. Even though that was before the FIFA farm, just an example. Yeah. But if other physical interventions that we work, we sank a borehole there. We did the perimeter fence before. We did the normal chain link. It was until when we realized the chain link fence don't last long. We went in for this, this BRC or this how do you call it, metal plates that are welded. That came out of when Mr. Fay, the second vice president, attended the FIFA infrastructure summit in Morocco. Then visited some mini stadia. That's why he saw this perimeter and he came with that concept. That's what he used to go to Banjul and see. You can climb over it. Go to Brikama, you can climb over it. Go to Gunjur, you can climb over it. All of us can see over it. Go to Busumbara. This is what we are doing in Jakoi. You understand? Go to Serekunda East, go to Brikama. So we improved that. So what I mean, we did a similar one, the normal one in Majai. Yeah. It fell out. But that's a project, that's an intervention. So if you apply a project like that to FIFA, is approved, a number is allocated as SOA 1. The ongoing one is a similar one. Mm-hmm. That's because that one didn't last long because we used the normal one. Mm-hmm. That's also an SOA 2. We went to like Brikama. We did the pitch, the artificial turf was removed, the perimeter fence was done, the dressing room was overhauled, extended, to an international standard. The outside toilets are built. That's another project of its own. We call that SOA maybe 3. You have 3 projects. We have the lights, even though at the beginning we thought really the voltage of the lamps were not adequate enough for we are using them now. They can play 9 matches, Banyu play 9 matches, you go to Serekunda West, the Boreas and everything is going there. So they are serving the purpose of the community. Go to East, they are doing it. Even when the Navitan calendar is congested, they use those lights to play football, training at night. In as much as it didn't reach the desired capacity
international light. Yeah.
But
you can serve the purpose locally. Yeah.
So this is another project. So you call that SOE3. So you count the intervention area. Go to Banjul. We did the turf, we did the perimeter fence, we're doing the dressing rooms, outside toilet. So every intervention area has a number. So you count that. Go to Gunyu, you go to Jarasoma, you go to Busumbala, even though they are not complete, but they're all part of approved projects. So this is why you count that this is intervention at 14. And then just to, I know you don't have to have I think the other thing also in terms of so I can tell you, it's not we build 14 pitches or we build 14 misunderstanding of the whole thing.
Yes.
But finally, when you say, okay, $4 million for 4 years, for projects, let me also break it down. In FIFA terms, project doesn't only mean concrete and metal, physical, no. Like, for example, when we were going for the WAFU tournament for the under-20 in Mauritania, and then the under-20 Cup of Nations in Abidjan, we had to come up with a project, competition project. It's also allowed because we know that you don't have the money, and government is not sponsored. It's only sponsored the senior national team. You understand?
And the team has to go for this competition.
Then you have to go look at the basket where we have money for the projects. We quickly come and conceive a project to get some money to be able to do that. When the guys were going to Cape Verde for the WAFU, we did the same thing. And many other competitions, even training programs.
Yes.
So if you go further, that report, if you go further, you look at the graphs, you look at the analysis, you see that only $1.9 million was spent on infrastructure. The other two is competition and other related things. So people are saying, so people have to understand when you say price, it's not only cement and metal, but you have also the tangible ones, the abstract one in terms of competition and training. And yes, I will consider training. Vehicles were bought yourself, GFF President had said, to make our work easier, we bought 2 buses for the Federation in 2018. All those are part of that project package. So
finally, the national league. National league. Yeah. What is your plan going forward? Because we've seen Gambian talents, are moving straight to top European football club from the grassroots to there. Yankuba Mente is a sample of that one.
We are. I'm not very good at numbers. I was with my colleague yesterday back at Gambia. I think out of the 27 that went to the AFCON.
Yes.
It's a handful, maybe 5, 6, or maximum 7 did not go through our local league. All of them passed through our local league. So which means, despite the fact that our league is amateur, we have the talents and our league is strong and good. That's the fact. It's only a good farmer that can produce a good product.
Absolutely.
Now we have the plan to introduce a professional league by 2025-2026 season. We started the concept. But there we need the government. We are talking to government. It's because of AFCON we are distracted. But immediately we started again to ensure that we have a professional league that will ensure that our league is the standard on status of our league and the football goes for that. And then you'll be surprised. This is the advantage that we have. Even some of my colleagues ask us, especially on the youth level, they've become surprised when they learn that we don't have big academies here like the Jensen Food, Jambars, and others here. When you what academy? I said, no, we rely on the grassroots and school football. We have academies here, but not as big and fancy as So then that tells you that the pool of talents we have here. So we have to do everything possible to raise the level of our league, to have a professional league with the minimum number of teams that we could start, and that will really revolutionize the football in the country and providing improvements. When you say professional, which means you have at least 30 players that will register for the league, so the season should be on contract with the minimum wage, government minimum wage to be paid. Now we all give transport refund fare. If you're happy, when you have some money, give them $5,000, $10,000 bonus their side, them go with $400, $300. That's how it is. Even the most endowed clubs are struggling to do that. And then the coaches, many of them are on contractual. You're interested, you're passionate for you come here, once in a while we give you something. The technical, but when it's professional, from the technical side to the players, everybody will be on contract, and at the end of the day, then you wake up in the morning, football, instead of going to school, later you go to football, you go to work, later you go to football, you wake up in the morning, it's football because it's a job for you. That's what you want to do.
Fantastic. We wish you all the best, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Despite the short notice, you've taken your time to come and clear most of these issues that were burning issues surrounding, the football fraternity. This is your 360 SPA 360 on THD TV. Alhaji Lamin Kaba Bajo was our guest today. Join us for the next guest. Like I said, we are here, the wall of information, THD Tales of Haji Drame. Until we come away, have a peaceful afternoon.